Chapter 5. Intentional Action, the Law of Cause and Effect, and the Solar Plexus Chakra. The manifestation process is not complete without intentional action. Just as a farmer cannot simply wish for a harvest without preparing the land, planting seeds, and nurturing their growth, we must take deliberate steps toward the realization of our desires. The law of cause and effect teaches that every action has a corresponding reaction. What we sow, we reap. If we wish to bring our dreams into reality, we must align our actions with our intentions. This chapter explores the role of purposeful movement in the creation process, while faith, visualization, and emotional alignment set the stage. It is through action that manifestations take form in the physical world. Every step taken in faith sends ripples into the universe, setting events into motion. The Bible echoes this truth in James chapter 2, verse 17. Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Faith and belief must be coupled with action to yield results. Similarly, science supports that momentum and consistent effort create compounded results over time, leading to success. In this chapter, we'll explore how the law of cause and effect governs manifestation, the difference between forced action and inspired action, how to overcome procrastination and resistance, practical steps for aligning daily actions with long-term goals. Just as a farmer trusts that the actions taken today will yield a future harvest, we must trust that each aligned action brings us closer to our manifested reality. Now, it's time to turn belief into motion and embrace the principle that every seed sown through action will eventually bear fruit. The law of cause and effect, understanding how actions create outcomes. The law of cause and effect is a fundamental principle that governs the universe, stating that every action produces a corresponding result. Just as a farmer understands that planting an apple seed will eventually yield an apple tree, we must recognize that the seeds of action we sow today determine the reality we will experience tomorrow. The Bible reinforces this principle in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. This scripture highlights the direct relationship between our efforts and our outcomes. What we plant in thought, speech, and action will inevitably manifest in our lives. From a scientific perspective, the law of cause and effect aligns with Newton's third law, which states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. In the realm of manifestation, this translates to the idea that energy put into motion continues to move forward, generating momentum. Small, consistent efforts compound over time, leading to significant transformation. How this law affects manifestation. Every action initiates a chain reaction. Like a farmer who prepares the land, our first steps toward a goal set forces into motion that shape our reality. Effort compounds over time. Just as a tree does not bear fruit overnight, the effects of aligned action accumulate to create results. Intention matters. Actions performed with purpose and faith yield greater results than actions taken out of fear or desperation. Practical steps to align with the law of cause and effect. Identify the actions that align with your goals. Make a list of the steps necessary to move toward your manifestation. Be consistent. Just as a farmer must tend to crops daily, small, consistent efforts will yield the best results. Trust in the process. Understand that every action is a seed planted, and with patience, the right conditions will bring it to fruition. Ultimately, the law of cause and effect reminds us that manifestation is not just about what we desire, but what we are willing to do to bring it into reality. Just as a farmer works in harmony with nature, We must work in alignment with this universal law, knowing that what we put out into the world will eventually return to us. Inspired action versus forced action. Working with flow rather than struggle. Not all actions are created equal when it comes to manifestation. Some actions feel effortless and aligned, while others feel forced and draining. The key to effective manifestation is understanding the difference between inspired action and forced action and knowing when to move forward with ease rather than struggle. Inspired action is when you feel a natural pull or excitement to take a step. The action feels effortless or joyful. It aligns with your intuition and internal guidance. It often brings unexpected opportunities and synchronicities. Forced action is when you feel drained or obligated to take a step. Fear, doubt, or desperation are driving your choices. You try to control every aspect of the outcome. There's a sense of struggle or resistance. The Bible encourages alignment with divine flow in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. This scripture reminds us that trusting in divine guidance leads to clarity and smoother execution of our goals. How to identify and follow inspired action. Pay attention to inner nudges. If an idea or opportunity excites you, take it as a sign to move forward. Release attachment to timing. Inspired action happens when you trust the process rather than force an outcome. Recognize the difference between resistance and intuition. Fear may arise, but deep down, inspired action always feels right. Take immediate steps. When inspiration strikes, act on it as soon as possible to maintain momentum. When we work with inspired action rather than struggle, we move in harmony with the universe rather than against it. Just as a farmer plants in the right season to ensure a bountiful harvest, we must take action when divine timing aligns with our desires. Overcoming procrastination and resistance. Moving through fear and doubt. Procrastination and resistance often arise when we step outside our comfort zones and into the unknown. While fear and doubt may seem like obstacles, they are actually signs of growth. Just as a seed resists breaking through the soil before it can sprout, our manifestations require us to push through internal barriers. The Bible reassures us in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Fear and hesitation do not come from divine guidance. Rather, they are opportunities to develop faith, confidence, and perseverance. Strategies for overcoming procrastination. Break tasks into small, manageable steps. Overwhelm often leads to inaction. Focus on one step at a time. Shift your mindset from perfection to progress. Action taken imperfectly is better than waiting for the perfect moment. Use the 5-second rule. Count down from 5 and take immediate action before doubt sets in. Visualize the outcome. Remind yourself why you're taking action and the rewards that await you. Understanding resistance. Resistance often indicates that you are moving towards something meaningful. Instead of avoiding the resistance, lean into it and ask, what is this teaching me? Reframe fear as a signpost guiding you toward growth. Just as a farmer must push past the labor of planting and tending crops before seeing a harvest, we must take action despite fear and resistance. Moving forward in faith ensures that our manifestations take root and flourish. Creating a daily action plan. Aligning consistent effort with manifestation. Just as a farmer follows a structured routine to tend to their crops, successful manifestation requires consistent and intentional daily actions. A dream without a plan remains a wish, but a dream with a structured plan becomes a reality in motion. The Bible speaks to the power of diligence in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. This verse reinforces the idea that steady, intentional work brings success, while scattered or unfocused effort leads to loss. Scientific research supports this concept through the compound effect, which states that small, repeated actions accumulate into significant results over time. This principle is evident in nature. Seeds grow into trees, rivers carve canyons, and habits shape our lives through daily repetition. How a daily action plan strengthens manifestation. Creates clarity. A clear plan reduces doubt and provides a roadmap toward your goal. Builds momentum. Daily actions keep energy flowing, preventing stagnation. Enhances confidence. Taking action daily reinforces self-trust and belief in the process. Steps to create an effective daily action plan. Define your end goal. Be specific about what you're manifesting and why it matters. Break it down into steps. Identify key milestones that will lead to your goal. Prioritize the most impactful actions. Focus on actions that create the biggest shift toward manifestation. Schedule daily, non-negotiable actions. Just as a farmer waters crops daily, commit to regular effort. Track progress and adjust when needed. Reflection and refinement keep actions aligned with the goal. Practical techniques for staying consistent. Morning rituals. Start each day with an intention-setting practice, such as journaling or visualization. Accountability. Share your goals with a mentor, coach, or trusted partner to stay committed. Use habit stacking. Attach new actions to existing habits, e.g., affirmations while brushing your teeth. Reward small wins. Celebrate progress to maintain motivation and momentum. By integrating daily, intentional action, we ensure that our manifestations move beyond ideas and emotions into tangible reality. Just as a farmer follows the rhythms of planting and tending crops, we must establish routines that cultivate success and allow our desires to take root and flourish. The power of persistence. Staying committed despite challenges. Persistence is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Just as a farmer must endure storms, droughts, and unpredictable seasons before reaping a harvest, we too must remain steadfast in the face of setbacks and obstacles. True manifestation is not about instant gratification, but about holding the vision through all conditions and taking consistent action, even when results are not immediately visible. The Bible reinforces this principle in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This scripture speaks directly to the importance of perseverance, knowing that our efforts will bear fruit in due time if we continue moving forward. Scientific research on grit and resilience supports the idea that persistence is a key factor in success. Studies by psychologist Angela Duckworth have shown that grit, the ability to persevere toward long-term goals despite difficulty, is a greater predictor of success than talent or intelligence. The power of persistence lies in the ability to continue taking action even when the results seem uncertain. How to cultivate persistence in manifestation. Develop an unshakable why. Clearly define the deeper reason behind your manifestation. When the purpose is strong, obstacles become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Reframe setbacks as lessons. Every delay, challenge, or failure holds valuable information that refines your journey and makes you stronger. Practice emotional mastery. Stay emotionally centered through meditation, prayer, and mindset work to maintain faith during difficult times. Take consistent micro-actions. Small, consistent steps are more sustainable and powerful than sporadic, grand efforts. Seek encouragement. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who uplift and remind you of your vision. Biblical and natural examples of persistence. The story of Noah. Noah persisted in building the ark despite years of ridicule and doubt, trusting in divine instruction. The bamboo tree. This tree remains underground for years, before suddenly growing rapidly. Like our manifestations, growth often happens beneath the surface before visible results appear. The farmer's patience. A farmer does not dig up seeds to check if they are growing. They trust the process and continue nurturing the soil. Persistence does not mean forcing results, but rather staying in motion, adapting to challenges and trusting that every step taken in faith is leading toward the harvest. The universe rewards those who are committed and unwavering in their pursuit of their dreams. Trusting divine timing, balancing action with patience. Just as a farmer does not expect to harvest crops the day after planting, we must understand that manifestation follows divine timing. Every seed requires the right combination of soil, sunlight, water, and time to grow. Similarly, our desires must be nurtured and allowed to unfold in their perfect season. Balancing action with a patience is key to successful manifestation. The Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, "There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." This scripture emphasizes that everything has an appointed time, and trying to force results before their season can lead to frustration and unnecessary struggle. Scientific studies on delayed gratification, such as the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, demonstrate that those who cultivate patience and trust the process often achieve greater success in the long run. Learning to act with faith and then surrender to divine timing allows us to move with the flow of creation rather than against it. How to trust divine timing while taking action. Recognize that waiting is part of the process. Just as a tree takes years to grow, major manifestations require time to develop fully. Practice patience and faith. Develop trust that what you seek is already unfolding behind the scenes, even if you don't see immediate results. Avoid forcing outcomes. Rushing the process can disrupt the natural order of manifestation. Stay present in the journey. Focus on the daily steps rather than obsessing over when the final outcome will appear. Let go of attachment to timing. Release the need for instant results and trust that everything is arriving in divine order. Signs that your manifestation is in the process of unfolding. You experience synchronicities and small signs affirming you are on the right path. Unexpected opportunities or insights come to you at the perfect moment. You feel a sense of inner peace and detachment, knowing that what you seek is already yours in the spiritual realm. By aligning our efforts with divine timing, we honor the natural flow of creation. Just as a farmer does not pull at a sprouting plant to make it grow faster, we must learn to take inspired action while allowing time and universal forces to do their part. When we trust the process, we create space for manifestations to bloom effortlessly and beautifully. Transitioning to the next stage, the role of rhythm and gestation in manifestation. Just as nature operates in cycles and rhythms, so too does the process of manifestation. Understanding the law of rhythm and the principle of gestation allows us to appreciate the natural flow of creation. Every seed we plant, whether literal or metaphorical, must go through distinct stages of growth before reaching full fruition. The Bible reflects this in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This verse reminds us that there is a waiting period between planting and harvesting, a time when growth is happening beneath the surface, even if we cannot yet see it. Science also supports the idea that everything in nature follows rhythms and cycles. The circadian rhythm regulates our sleep, the seasons dictate agricultural cycles, and even the human body follows phases of renewal. When we embrace these natural rhythms, we flow with the universe rather than struggle against it. How to align with the law of rhythm and gestation. Recognize that growth is happening, even in the unseen. Just as a plant develops roots before sprouting above ground, our manifestations often take shape behind the scenes before appearing in our lives. Trust in the gestation period. Avoid impatience by understanding that every desire has a necessary period of development. Align with your own rhythms. Work with your natural energy cycles, seasons of creativity, and times of rest. Prepare for the harvest. Use the waiting period to refine your skills, expand knowledge, and strengthen faith. Signs that your manifestation is approaching fruition. You feel a sense of readiness and alignment within yourself. New doors open effortlessly, indicating divine timing is in motion. People, resources, or opportunities show up unexpectedly, signaling the arrival of what you have been cultivating. As we move into the next chapter, we will explore how the law of rhythm and the sacral chakra guide the gestation and birth of manifestations. Just as a farmer prepares for harvest, we must prepare for the moment when our desires shift from unseen growth to tangible reality. Now is the time to align with nature's cycles and trust that the next phase is already on its way.